He was in the Twins organization. He's 28 years old. And
The hell
the
was
guy really.
All right, Steve, take us away.
All right, and we're live. All Point Sports, 9 o'clock. Bobby Blackjack, Fred Rubino, Stephen Byer on Blackjack TV. All Point Sports, another Wednesday episode coming at you. Wasn't too long ago where we had plenty to talk about with New York sports. And, this week we're talking about ankles as far as Aaron Rodgers is concerned. We're talking about LeBron retiring. We only got one NBA game playing right now. We were kind of stripped of a whole lot of stuff as JG the Kid comes into the picture. How we doing, John?
Good. How are y'all tonight?
Doing good.
I'm a little tired today, guys, so I'm going to maybe sit in the background a little bit. So I'll chime in when necessary. But, Steve, you're there. Again, congrats on the graduation.
Appreciate it, Bobby.
Congratulations. So you can run the show a little bit today. I'll be a little bit. I'm a little down today.
I appreciate it.
A little bit.
You got the Yankees on. So you just sit back and relax. What are they on? Prime, Apple, Peacock? What's it?
They're on Prime. I just love getting calls from like all my friends. Where are the Yankees tonight? Where are they? I can't find them anywhere. It's ridiculous.
Listen, I know that, I'd like to consider myself technologically, sound and capable, but it's kind of getting ridiculous with all these Yankee games. I mean,
I'll be honest though. All right, I'm a cord cutter, right? So I got a 42-inch smart TV with all the apps on it. The Yes app never works.
Mm-hmm.
Never. I got the same thing.
It buffers. It disappears. It freezes out on you. At least Amazon works, for God's sakes.
Yeah.
I don't understand why you can't just pick a team in any sport. I don't care what sport it is. Pay whatever app it is and just get those games. I don't understand it. It doesn't make sense to me. You should be able to buy any channel, any team, any show. If a show comes out, let's say it's Larry David show, and you say, okay, give me $20, you get the whole season right onto your smart. You don't need cable, get the whole season. Fine, let's do it. There's too much confusion, especially with football and especially with baseball.
Yeah, baseball's the most antiquated with blackouts. I mean, even if we couldn't watch it on Yes Tonight, you could have even watched it on ESPN Plus. We can't watch it on ESPN Plus in New York because of the blackout restriction. How this is still a thing for baseball is beyond me, and that's why one of the many reasons why it doesn't have the audience that football and basketball does. It's because of blackout restrictions. It's getting ridiculous, and like Bobby and Fred said, that Yes app is brutal. Oh my God.
But never works. Never works.
Guys.
It works on my phone, but never on the TV where I want to watch it. 6 inches versus 42. Big difference.
Yeah, the size matters, right?
It used to be you used to buy the illegal box from the mafia.
Yes.
And you plug it in and you get every channel and every sport. You see, the mafia has gotten very lazy lately. That's the problem. A lazy mafia. They should be on this. They should be like, here's the box. $400. You get everything. You can watch your sister. It doesn't matter. That's what's happening. The mafia is lazy. There's no more Metro cards that are bootleg. No more bootleg 20s. No more bootleg boxes. Nothing. They left us alone.
Oh, the mafia. Call them out early. Maybe when Bobby gets back to Villa Roma, I'll have to have a talk with the mafia that stay there, right, Bobby?
Yeah, I'm back on Friday, so I'll have to have a couple words.
Please have a sit down. Something at least for some TV. Well, what are we asking for? A little TV.
A little baseball. There's 9 innings of baseball. It's like 2
That's
hours.
it. Doesn't make sense. Lazy mafia.
Well, we got the Yankees, they're red hot, and the Mets are up and down, right? I mean, they're hot, they're cold. The red hot Braves are staying in their way. John, let's start off with baseball. How are we thinking about your Atlanta Braves? What are your thoughts so far between, I mean, what would you say, like 15% of the season? So
Right.
far?
Our biggest thing now is starting pitching. It just seems like everybody's hurt. And if we have the lead and it gets to the bullpen, like just hold on for your life, because they're blowing every game. But we're still hanging on. We're still in first place. We got the lead on the Dodgers tonight, 3-1. So I'm crossing my fingers, hoping we pull this win.
And the whole division, I mean, are the Marlins in second place in the
Yep.
NL
Yes,
East?
they are.
Bobby, your Marlins?
Yep. You can't see it, but I got my little Marlins thrown on top right behind my computer. So, you know what? They're playing, they're playing 500 ball, right? But then so is half of baseball right now. But it's better than anybody expected.
It seems like the only teams that aren't playing 500 ball play in the AL East. It is crowded right now for the Yankees, and God bless them, they are making a run. And the Braves are up top, and the Yankees, they're knocking on that door. A walk-off Judge win last night. Freddie, baseball so far, your thoughts?
Love the Yankees. They've been hurt all year. Everyone was hurt. Pitching, hitting, fielding, and they 5 games over 500. The only reason why they're 5 games out of first. The only reason is because Tampa started unbelievable 13-0.
Right.
If they go 8-5, Yankees are in first place, all banged up. Wait until they get healthy. They are going to run away with the East. Run away with it. It's not even going to be close. If all banged up, they're only 5 games out and a few games over 500. Once they get healthy, it's over. It's over, I tell you. Pack it up. Go home.
And the reinforcements are on the way. I mean, I think it's been like the last 12 or 13 games. The Rays are playing like 500 baseball. They started out hot, and now they're flattening that curve. And the Yankees, Giancarlo's on the way. We got Sevy back. I'll be watching Yankee Stadium on Saturday against the Padres. We got Donaldson, who, whether we're happy about that or not, he's on his way back. So we got reinforcements coming. It seems like we got a lot of bullpen arms that are hitting the deck. But so far, like you said, I mean, it's looking up. It's not about how you start. And a lot of Yankee fans are jumping ship so early. And you just got to ride the wave, and that's baseball.
Listen, I got a shirt I made up. I used to go live after every Yankee broadcast. I might start doing it again because of that. A lot of Yankee fans, and I got a shirt, and it just says, "There's no bitching in the Bronx." Stop bitching. We're the greatest team ever in any sport. We are great. We're going to be in first place soon. What's the problem? Yankee fans, I love Met fans. Met fans are like, yeah, we suck. We always suck. Of course we suck. We're going to suck. Yeah, we're in first, but we're going to suck soon. Met fans are very rock solid. They know where they're going to be at the end of the year. And, and if they don't, it's like a miracle. It's a miracle Mets. It's a miracle. They're doing novenas and stuff. So that they never waver, Met fans. Yankee fans are like, we lost that game. That's it. It's over. It's over.
Blow it up. Fire this guy. Fire that guy. Send this guy to the moon.
Exactly.
It can be a bad look. These Yankee fans, they don't know their history, and they don't know that this is a premier franchise, and they'll get it together. They're very, very emotional. They're very what's the word? They're very up and down.
Spoiled. We're spoiled.
Oh, definitely. As if these kids can't get any more spoiled enough. It's usually the younger fans these days, right? Because they got the social media. They have their own little Yankee shows, and they're the ones calling for Boone's head, for Judge's head, for Glaber's head. They don't know how good they got it. They can be very they can bitch and moan a lot, these Yankee fans. You got to be a realist.
Got to be a realist. It's a long season. We're only 1/3 through it, right? 50-something games. So
Yeah.
they're going to run away with it. I can't see them getting healthy and not running away with it. Can't see. You heard it here first.
Yeah, Tampa Bay cannot sustain their start the way they did. Now, the only team we're going to watch out for right now is Baltimore. Baltimore's hot. Tampa Bay, though, they started hot and they're starting to come back to earth. And people were saying they were shocked by it because you look at the Tampa Bay lineup and the roster, not a lot of talent there. I'm not saying they're not major league players, but they're not. It's not like the rosters of the Yankees or Toronto or whatnot. But
Yeah.
they're going to come back to earth a little bit.
And I think it was on WFAN. They made, I think it was the Carton and Roberts show. They were making fun of the Rays because they were calling them journeymen, and they were making fun of them because no one knows who's playing on the Rays. They're all nobodies. And I guess the Rays heard that, and they made T-shirts. They made like journeyman T-shirts, hello, and they were wearing it around the clubhouse. They're like, all right, we'll wear it with pride all year. The next game last night, they get blown out 20-1, I think it was. The Blue Jays, they have catchers throwing. They got their ass handed to them. I have to go back and look at the official score, but oh my goodness, it was just 20-1. So maybe they should have checked themselves right there. The Rays
Off the wall.
Yeah, I mean, John, your thoughts on the American League East? Do you think that the smaller, lower payroll teams like the Orioles and the Rays can keep it consistent throughout the playoffs? Or do you think that in the end it's going to be the higher market teams?
Yeah, I think they definitely have a shot to stay in there. But like you said, with the Yankees, just their lineup, and if everybody comes back healthy, you think they should definitely come back and win that division.
One thing about baseball is the one sport out of all the major sports where you could be like David versus Goliath. If you're a little school or a little program or a little team with a small budget, right? Say Pittsburgh, for example, or Tampa Bay. If you have a pitcher who's hot and throwing strikes, that could change the difference between you playing a behemoth and actually winning the game. So baseball is the one sport that can actually do that. Other sports, the town's all loaded up, but no matter how loaded your roster is in baseball, if your opposing pitcher is hot, throwing strikes, and is unhittable, you have a much better chance of winning the game.
And especially when it comes to playoff time.
Oh yeah,
pitching is huge in the playoffs.
I remember, following a little bit of the Pittsburgh Pirates, who again another team that started off pretty hot, came back down to the pack a little bit, around 500. But they were like 3 years in a row when they were like awesome. McCutchen was their best player, and they were hitting, they were pitching, but they could never win. They could never seem to win the division. So they were stuck in that one-game playoff for like 3 years in a row. And 3 years in a row, they got burned by the one pitcher who was pitching hot. And then they're out of the playoffs.
Yeah, the playoffs really bring to light how much pitching is dominating the sport. I mean, that's when you could have like a 3-pitcher rotation.
Right.
So even though you have 6 pitchers on your team, you put your 3 hottest and one guy pitches twice in the series. I mean, if you have the best pitcher in the league, odds are you'll be in the pennant, at least playing for the pennant if you have the best. And Baltimore doesn't impress me. Baltimore's another Mets. Oh, they have these streaks. They do something. Then after that, they have no depth, and they have guys who aren't that good of the hitters are hitting pretty good now. One guy's got 10 home runs. That's all going to go away as soon as like their mediocre guys who are playing over their head go back to being mediocre. Then they don't have to pitch to their 2 great hitters, and there they go. They score 2 or 3 runs a game, and they start losing like crazy. Baltimore's done. I hate Baltimore.
You heard it here first. That Judge home run, they knocked them. That killed them for the year.
That's it. Took the wind out of their sails.
Home run by Gleyber Torres, 2-0 Yankees.
All right.
Following a 1-out triple by Connor Falefa.
Wow.
So 2-0 Yankees.
And we were talking about pitching. I just want to bring this up quick because, I mean, kind of when I was middle school, high school, the I don't want to say dynasty, but almost a dynasty, the San Francisco Giants, right? 3 World Series, 10, 12, 14. I mean, they had 3 solid guys. They had Bumgarner, they had Kane, and they had Lincecum pitching every day. And no one wanted to face him, especially Bumgarner, who had the rubber arm, who could go every day. But just like you're saying, you got to have the pitching. And the Mets right now, they have the payroll for pitching, but Scherzer and Verlander, they're not living up to expectations. And for the Yankees, I mean, it's Cole and a whole lot of injury-prone players with Rodon and Sevy, but when things go right, no one can beat the Yankees. But I have a feeling that this won't be the only time that we're going to have some injuries throughout the year. But overall,
That's right.
just
It's
gotta
just
rock.
like with Bumgarner. You had to face him twice in the series. You'll have to face Cole in the series, or the other guy. What's the Spanish guy's name? They call him the monster.
Severino.
Severino.
Savvy.
Any one of those guys get real hot, you're gonna have to face him twice, and then the other. If you're facing him twice, you're facing Cole twice. There's no way you could beat them. No way.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. All right. So, John, we're talking baseball right now. The Yankees, Mets. I mean, the Mets haven't been playing so good. I know you got your eye on the NL East.
Yep.
Should Mets fans be hitting the panic button, or is this just like a Yankees blip where you just got to say it's baseball, or do you think this is going to be sustainable as far as the poor woes for the Mets?
Well, when we talked last week, it looked like it was definitely time to hit the panic button. Then all of a sudden they got, they went on a little run. I know they lost yesterday. I didn't see what they did today or what that score is, but it's just a long season, and everybody's still in the mix. So it's not over for them yet. So
that's for sure. Like I said, I'll be at the Yankee game on Saturday. So if anyone wants to come out, and we'll have a little All Point Sports get together. Feel free. Saturday, Yankees Padres. I think it's Seth Lugo we're watching for the Padres pitch. So that'll really be thrilling. But I think it's Severino for the Yankees. But it'll be good. Now, Freddie, would you make I was thinking about this because I missed the last two All Point Sports. Unfortunately. As far as Aaron Boone getting thrown out, I mean, you're a comedian. You got to know about having that showmanship.
Right.
Him getting thrown out. Did he do it right? I mean, he's throwing the gum. What would you say to the ump? What kind of would go through your head when you have those poor calls like Boone was going through basically all last week? I mean, he was getting thrown out like 2 or 3 times in the last 10 days.
Well, I think what happens with Major League Baseball is the umpires sometimes, they have a bad game. And you could see it, you see like they're calling something low and what's his face? Judge, they always call these low strikes on him. So he figures I got to start hammering these guys and just make it aware. So maybe at some of their meetings, they say, hey, look, we looked at the film. You know what? Let's stop calling them really low. I think that it's almost like you're like campaigning for what's going to happen down the road and stuff. And also I'm sure it did infuriate him. And I'm sure it energizes the team. I'm sure when like you're Judge and you see he goes crazy and goes, it's low. The guy's 6'9", 6'7". You can't call it underneath the knee. It's impossible because you're in it, like that. I think it energizes the team too. I think it, there's a certain energy, just like you said, performing. There's an energy. If the crowd's dead, you're kind of dead. If the crowd's up, you're up. You're on it. You're having a great time. I think it's the same thing with the coach. And also, the coach. It happens both ways. In the dugout, if you did something stupid or you're doing something stupid out there, if you're lazy and the coach comes and tells you, hey, a little animated in front of the other guys like saying, hey, that's good. He's on it. We're all focused to win this game, and he doesn't have favorites. So I think overall, a coach's job is to campaign all year and go against these low strikes, go against these, these bad calls or outside calls and stuff like that, so that later on in the year they might say, okay, we got to call it a little tighter and stuff like that. And I think it does energize the team as well.
Mm-hmm.
A quick update: Mets are losing 4-2, top of the 7th.
there we go, baby.
At Chicago.
Man, against Chicago too. I mean, I know that Chicago's a 500 team, but I mean the Mets.
Oh, not even. Chicago is 21-26.
Really. I know they started out well. I guess they're back to being the post World Series blow up team Cubs. So the Mets, I guess. I mean, has anyone seen these Mets celebrations? By the way, what Pete Alonso started doing?
No.
No,
No,
no.
nothing.
No.
It's kind of weird. The first time I saw it, I thought I was just overreacting, but apparently this is a big thing. Where Pete Alonso, he started a trend where they do something good, they score a run, they start humping each other.
Oh no.
Oh, that's nice. That's cool.
I am not, embellishing anything. That's like the new Mets thing. They had the thumbs down a couple years ago, and now
Right.
Pete Alonso is thrusting his hips. I guess if your team's doing that bad, it's getting a little perverted over there at Citi Field in Flushing.
Well, my Braves had the big hat celebration when they hit a home run. Then MLB came down and said the big hat's not made by New Era, so we can't do it anymore.
Really?
Yeah, so they took it away from us.
That's baseball for you, right?
Back to
That's
the
basically
I-
what he is, right.
I'm ready for the computer strike zone. Why do we need the umps behind the plate anyway? Go with the computer strike zone and let it ring it up.
Yeah. There are some times when, like in sports, it drives me crazy. Like basketball, it seems like when you're watching the NBA playoffs, every minute they're replaying something. There's a review, there's a challenge, stuff like that's unnecessary. But the robot umpire, how it's not a thing at the moment is beyond me.
hmm
And it's going to start costing teams games, and it's going to start costing them very important games at some point.
Right.
Well, I think the
Yeah,
minor leagues.
I always said that about football too. You would see like on the goal line, and the guy would go in, and they can't tell if the ball crossed the plane. And I'm like, there is not on the goal line a camera in the dirt. Like you used to have it on the plate when the guy used to slide home. Used to see the camera at home plate. They used to have that. I can't believe, and I'm not even talking about all the time. You can't put 20 or 50 cameras, little microfiber cameras for the Super Bowl on the goal line so that they know no matter what, if the ball crosses the plane with, any kind of a laser thing. I don't understand how they don't do that, at least for the Super Bowl. And like you said, with baseball, it could be so exact. Even a tiny part of the ball touches that box. It's a strike. No one could argue.
I agree.
And they've been trying it for a while. I know in the independent league over here on Long Island, we got the Long Island Ducks. We got Wally Backman, who's still kicking. He's the manager for the Long Island Ducks.
Wow.
He's bringing in former Mets. We've seen guys like Kirk Neuenhuis, Daniel Murphy, Den Deckner. It's where former Met players go to die, basically, the Long Island Ducks. But that's like the guinea pig league for, they did the larger bases. They tried the runner at second, the automated umpire, and it's all worked beautifully. I think they're even trying it in the lower levels of minor league, I think. So, I mean, just the robot umpire at some point, they got to, not that there won't, there's still going to be an umpire behind the plate, right? But it's just one of those things that are just so needed. And sometimes you get a little too overzealous with the replays and the camera and the technology for sports. But something like that, when you watch Judge take a fastball at the shins and they call it a strike, sometimes you're just wondering, come on, we need it.
Right. And you could always also have like an overriding thing.
Mm-hmm.
Like you could question. Maybe you get 5 pitches a team. And you say, hey, I want to challenge that. The challenge should be instantaneous because it registers all the time. It shouldn't be stopped. They all get together. They go on the phone. No, it should be instantaneous. Was that a strike? Yes or no? Yes. Okay, that's it. It could be instantaneous. But you know what? Another school of thought is if you lose the game by 1 or 2 pitches, then that's your fault also.
Well, think about it. They have that technology now where they have like the home plate cam, where it's not really the exact picture, but they kind of show where the ball goes, where it crosses the plate. They have that out there already. So why not just enhance that a little bit and make it so it's a legit thing that you can actually make calls on, balls and strikes.
Mm-hmm.
Listen, if you replace home plate with all around home plate, there's sensors that just shoot up. You could, it would record it instantaneous. All you have to do is develop the new home plate. It'll look exactly like a regular home plate, except that it could tell you if the ball crosses the plate. Maybe the umpire, just calls, I don't know what the fuck he would do then. Get rid of him.
He would call probably, plays at the plate, stuff like that.
Yeah, if you're out at the plate or fair and foul.
Yeah. He'll be there to scream at. If Aaron Boone wants to throw his gum and start kicking dirt, he could be there for that. That's fine. That's a tough gig. Just standing there and waiting for Aaron Boone to lose it. But
and Freddie had a point before also, which I like. How many years now have we had the you walk into a bodega and the buzzer goes off to alert the staff that somebody walked into the store, right? Same technology, same idea, same concept. You put something across the goal line of football. Well, you can't put a little kind of chip in a football. It's going to really make a whole difference. And that chip would know if the ball crosses the plate or not.
That's
Great
it.
idea. $1 million idea. Let's patent it.
You hear that,
That's
MLB? You got to be like a bodega in Manhattan, in the Bronx. You gotta be like the bodega.
You have like a stray cat walking around like the bodegas. You have a few Mexicans playing cards on the side.
The illegal slot machine,
An illegal slot machine. Yeah, let's make it that ammonia smell, heavy ammonia smell. Some faded boxes of oatmeal that haven't been sold in 87 years.
There you go. Doc holding the Rubino plate. There we go.
The Bodega League.
Were you drinking a 40 there, Bobby?
Nah, it's just water. I'm fasting now, so it's just water.
Okay.
Fasting?
Yeah, I'm doing 12-12 fasting.
Nice.
It ends up being like 13-11 most of the time because I sleep late anyway.
Mm-hmm.
So Doc,
Fasting is good for you.
So
Fasting is very good.
Yeah, I'm trying it. I'm trying out. I've done it up in the mountains. Well, what I normally do is I'll eat whenever I have dinner. Whenever I eat for the last time, I'll just set my clock for 12 hours.
Okay.
Now are you just staring at the clock a lot? Or you're like,
No,
4 more hours. Because that's what I would do. I'd just keep constantly checking my phone. All right, 4 hours, 32 minutes.
no, because I usually work late on my computer or watching TV or something, or soon DJing all night. So I'll go to bed. Next thing you know, I'll wake up. It's 14 hours later. So by the way, Steve, thank God you're not in your college campus. See, it's gonna be 37 degrees in Callicoon tonight.
Really?
Which means 27 by you, where you were.
Callicoon.
Yeah, it's cold up there tonight.
Woohoo!
Yeah, they had the PGA championship up at Rochester this past weekend.
Why?
And
Why in May?
What was it in? It was originally in August, right? It was in August, and then they moved it to May because they wanted to be in front of the U.S. Open, or they didn't want a late major in August. So you have guys like Justin Thomas giving upstate New York crap. I think his exact words, someone asked him, oh, what do you think of the course? And he's like, it's upstate New York in May. What can you expect from that?
Exactly.
Upstate New Yorkers are like, yeah, he's got a point. It's good from Memorial Day to Labor Day, maybe. You get a nice day in June, possibly. But just all these players were just talking, crap about the course. And then the opening round 1 on Thursday, what happens? It gets delayed due to frost. They had a frost delay for 2 hours on the golf course. That's upstate New York for you.
I tell you, I live in New Jersey, right? Every time New Jersey hosts a major golf, either men's or women's, it rains for a week straight. Every single time, if something big happens, you're going to have a rainstorm for, one of those weak storms that just never go away. And it's ridiculous. But while you're playing that tournament in Rochester in May, play it in July, play it in August. When it's warm.
Why is anybody in Rochester?
Good point.
Every day we wake up in Oswego, we're like, why do we come here? We could have gone to University of South Carolina. We could have been watching, girls play beach volleyball outside. Everyone's all bundled up.
All right, I think next we should move on to Steve. You missed last week's show where I put on my placard, major or number one Knicks hater. You know how much I love the Knicks. So, what are your thoughts? I know you missed last 2 weeks, and our friend hasn't been with us either. What are your thoughts on the Knicks and what's happening in basketball right now? By the way, just so you know, John, I posted the link to the show on NBA Uncensored. So if anybody from our group there wants to chime in, just post a question like Doc did, and we'll post it for you.
I appreciate that.
Yeah.
With my New York Knicks, well, first of all, I mean, with this Celtics Heat series that's going on, it makes the Knicks look a little bit better. I mean, I know the Celtics won last night, but those first 3 games were brutal by Boston. And the fact that the Knicks kept them fairly close for 5 games, you could have said they could have pulled it out game 1. I know they kept it close. Maybe it was game 3 or something like that. It makes the Knicks look a little bit better that, the Miami Heat, who will be going to the NBA Finals, they've steamrolled the Celtics, makes us look a little bit better that we kept them in check more. But for my New York Knicks, it was, losing to an 8 seed is tough, right? And as much as you want to just scream and shout, how can we lose to a play-in team? Miami is a very good team. And Jimmy Butler and Bam Adebayo, they're like the Patriots, with Spoelstra and Riley. They just keep churning out championship teams. And not only that, but with guys who are like, who is this guy? I'm getting sick and tired of watching guys like Gabe Vincent, Caleb Martin, Max Struss. I don't know who these guys are, but they're playing every night, and they're playing consistent basketball every night. So,
is there any chance for Tyler Hero to come back in the finals?
I think so.
Is he out for the whole?
I know.
Got diagnosed. I think they said maybe finals.
Yeah, I saw
at this point.
Doubtful for the finals, and a lot of people.
My problem is that the Knicks are a New York team. We haven't won a championship in a hell of a long time. It's a disgrace to New York. And I see these other franchises in football, in basketball, in a lot of places where they get someone who's great in that sport, whether it's a coach, and they give him the reins. And that's how organizations are turned around. Like with the Cowboys, okay, they had a great trade with the Herschel Walker trade. Just was an unbelievable once in a million years thing. But they handed it over to Johnson, and they said, it's your team now. And he went at it. They said that you didn't want to be on his bad side. He'll bench you no matter. And he just took the reins. And all of a sudden, 2 out of 3 years, they went in the Super Bowl, and the same thing with basketball. You get like these great coaches in LA for years and stuff like that. And they take the reins and they just win and win. It seems New York doesn't do that. It's corporate run. Mets got the same problem. It's corporate run. Nobody gives a shit as long as they're making money, and the team just never wins anymore. Never wins. We all we want to do is make sure our jerseys sell and tickets sell, and it's bullshit. Get someone really great, give them a ton of money, and say, "Here's the team. Here's the team. If you win, we're going to say it's because of you. Here's the team." And that's when things. Are same thing with when the Giants with Parcells. Okay, we knew the reason why the Giants won was Parcells. He was a maniac, and he took it by the balls, and he says, this is what I'm doing, and if you leave me alone, I'm going to win. That's what these teams need. And that recipe is always there, and all these coaches go down in history, and then nobody copies it. I don't understand it.
It's become more of a players-run league, especially in the NBA. These coaches, guys like Doc Rivers and Monty Williams, who shouldn't be getting fired. You have superstars like Embiid, like Durant, who are calling the shots now. Even guys like Kawhi Leonard. There's no general in the army anymore for your head coach. It's just who's going to be the yes man. And that's going around all sports. You could say the same for baseball, definitely basketball for sure.
Yeah, and that's the death of it. That's the death of it, because I don't care how great you are. The guy who is 50, 60 years old, who's seen it all, maybe been a champion himself, came up, knows the game inside and out, and knows how to get results. That's the guy you turn it over to. Oh, I'm sorry that your star player doesn't get along with you. You know what? When you give the guy those reins and he says, if we have to get rid of James, we get rid of him. I'm going to build a team that's going to have 5 guys that are 8s instead of one number 10 and all number 6s, and we're going to win championships. And you let it go. And even if you're open with the fans and say, hey, look, this is what we're doing. Bear with us for 2 or 3 years. This guy's taking the reins. I think you would sell the same amount of tickets, same amount of jerseys, and I believe your organization would turn around. Got to get tough with these guys. They're all pussies. They're all prima donna pussies, and they all want the ball.
There we go.
And I can tell you right now, LeBron James, down by 2, 6 seconds left. They got him the ball. He was driving towards the net, and nothing happened. You don't deserve a voice when that happens. You don't deserve it. At the very least, you should have went up strong. The guy, he had the ball down here. They teach it in Little League. Don't put the ball down here. Anyone could grab it. Bring it up here. Boom. That's it.
Don't put the ball by your balls. You got to put it by your head.
That's it, right? And Little League. And this guy makes that mistake. Game 4, down by 2, driving towards the basket. Sorry.
I can see I can see the steam starting to come from Bobby's ears. Before we touch on LeBron, because not only is Bobby a notorious Nick hater, he's also a notorious LeBron hater. The NBA Finals, which I'm sure no one wanted to see, Heat Nuggets, right? They're going to play it on NBA TV instead of ABC just because of how bad the matchup is. They'll play the LeBron decision on ESPN instead. You know, it's a win for 2 things. One, loyalty, right? Because you've had Butler, who's been on the Heat for a few years. Jokic, who has been the MVP. They didn't get anywhere. He could have said, all right, sayonara, I'm gone. So you have 2 guys, 2 staples, and Butler, Jokic, who have been there for a good while with their teams, and also stability. Mike Malone and Eric Spoelstra, 51, 52 years old. You don't have, a Darvin Ham coaching the team. You have Mike Malone, who's been coaching in the NBA since 2003, 2004, head coach of the Nuggets since 2015. And then you have Spoelstra, who's been there for, 10, 12 years for Miami. And that's very rare when you see coaches with that type of longevity for teams. And it's a win for the NBA where Doc Rivers got 3 years and that's it. You have Spoelstra and you have Malone. So I think that's a win for the NBA as far as, a look and some stability in the league.
Well,
Doc Rivers let them do what they wanted. And you know what? When you have really great guys, which he did, a lot of times it works. But you know what? Sometimes it doesn't work. And then you could have a monkey behind there. It doesn't matter because once it's not going right, it's not going right. You need a coach. You need someone who pulls reins in, who intimidates players, who threatens them that they're not going to play as much. You need that. Or anytime you've ever heard of championship seasons, like hockey, whatever, they would say, man, you didn't want to get on his bad side. You didn't want to make that mistake or get caught not knowing something. That's what puts your team over the top.
Exactly. Now, guys, let me ask you a question. I'll ask, this is for John, well, for all you guys, obviously. A couple of whispers that LeBron might want to come out to New York now. Do you want LeBron James on your Knicks? John?
I would trade Julius Randle right now and 3 first-round picks to get LeBron James and his IQ in the building ASAP. But he has 1 more year left with the Los Angeles Lakers. A lot of rumors saying that he might retire. There's no way you played that whole year without a farewell party in every freaking stadium to just retire when we all know he wants to play with his son. So
there's no guarantee. Hold on, John. There's no guarantee his son is that good.
That is true. So we're gonna see this year. He chose to go to USC.
Oh wow,
So we'll
that's a
see.
big stretch. I can live at mommy and daddy's house and still go to
Yeah.
college.
Wow.
We'll see.
Yeah,
Wow.
don't come to the Knicks. Don't come to the Knicks with your son. Do us all a favor.
But that's the part where if he does come out after his freshman year and whoever drafts him, then LeBron has he'll be a free agent and can go to any team. But yes, if we could trade for him, I would do it. Just because the way he plays. I mean, he's a smart basketball player. I know he's getting old, but he could still dominate the game. And if anybody, even in game 4, he had 31 points in the first half. And then you look at Anthony Davis, who's in his prime and is not giving you anything and is just getting killed by Jokic. And he had no help that whole game. He did it, and he tried to be passive, get everybody involved, but it's game 4. It's an elimination game. He should have just kept attacking the whole game. And then at the end, he had 2 shots and didn't even hit rim.
It's weird seeing a LeBron that usually LeBron dominates the entire game.
Right.
We're starting to see a LeBron that can only dominate a half now. I mean, he dropped 31 in the first half and then 9 in the second half.
Yeah.
It's a shame to see. Obviously, you need players around him. He was doing it all because God forbid Anthony Davis plays consistent basketball, right? I mean, when you have Jared Vanderbilt on the court with sinful D'Angelo Russell, you can't do much. But as great as LeBron is, 38 is still going up and down that court for 48 minutes. He didn't come out. He played all 48 minutes. And, he obviously doesn't have the legs like he used to. So he played a great first half, but, it just his team couldn't pick him up after that. And
All right,
I think the game has changed.
Real quick, Connor Flefa with a home run. So in 2 at-bats, he has a triple and a home run.
Nice.
For Isaiah Connor Flefa. So we'll see what happens if he goes for the cycle or not. Go, Fred.
I think basketball has changed just like football has changed. I think that if you watch Michael Jordan play, Michael Jordan used to get hammered. Michael Jordan used to be bleeding, no foul. They would knock him across the floor. A lot of times, no foul. Away from the ball, not even having the ball get his shoulder right in the jaw, no foul. It was a lot rougher on that. Now I think they look at it and they go, this guy's this franchise. This guy's making money for everybody. And they call everything. In fact, I am shocked when he drove to the basket for the last shot that they didn't call that foul. I'm shocked because they call everything against him. And the guy, and Jovic is getting slaughtered. And so it's changed the game that guys who used to dominate, you could rough them up. And get away with it a lot. And if you overcame it, you overcame it. It's not the case with LeBron anymore. LeBron, you just touch him, it's a foul. Anything after the ball, you just touch his head. Oh, it's a foul, and he plays it up. So it's just like in football, things have changed where you could slaughter the quarterback years ago. Now, if it's just incidental contact with your fingertips hit his helmet, it's 15 yards. So it's a different game now with LeBron, and I don't see him dominating anymore.
And even before that, he had the inbounds pass for 3 seconds left, side of the backboard.
Right.
Yeah,
they doubled him because they knew where he was going to. They didn't call up anything creative. They gave it to LeBron. On the Nuggets bench, they said, all right, they're going to give it to LeBron. Let's double him. We'll let Jared Vanderbilt hit the 3 if we have to. And yeah, it worked out well.
And the Knicks can't afford to experiment. I mean, as a PR move to have LeBron come with his son, that would be the biggest disaster. The Knicks would just be pure shit. I'm not a big fan of that. Ever since I still have it stuck in my craw with what's his face from the Orioles, who broke Lou Gehrig's record, Cal Ripken Jr. Yeah, when his father was the coach and he was batting 160. And they were like, "Oh, leave him in, leave him in." If fucking Lou Gehrig was batting 160, they would have pulled him like a lawnmower, like a faulty lawnmower. But they let him in, and he had a nice spell where anyone else would have pulled him out off the team, had someone else start, rest him, whatever the case may be. And I feel he should have acknowledged that he didn't have the stats and the batting average and all of that like Lou Gehrig did. I still hate him for that. I hate him.
Yeah, I'm with you.
I'm going to go against the grain. If we can get LeBron, why the hell not? It'll, it's New York. You don't need a box office attraction. But at this point with the Knicks, you get him for 2 years. You're trading, assuming it's going to be a trade. You're getting a 39-year-old basketball player. So a little bit off the dollar, right? It's not like going to be a Kevin Durant where you're giving away 4 first-round picks. I saw a mock trade because after, the Knicks are done and everything like that, you see a whole bunch of different trades. You see Lillard coming to the Knicks. You see Giannis coming to the Knicks. I saw a trade for Giannis to the Knicks where it was Quickly, Barrett, Mitchell Robinson, Grimes, and then 7 first-round picks.
Oh, come on.
7 first-round picks, which is just that's signing a death note in the NBA because who knows how long Giannis is going to stick around. 7 first-round picks. So LeBron, you get him for a couple years. I think it'd be fun. I think so because we need a 3. Barrett can't play the small forward. He's more of a 2. We got plenty of first-round picks. I'm not giving up 7 for Giannis, but I would love to see fans' reactions to LeBron. You're telling me you wouldn't be enticed to go to MSG and watch LeBron once, see the living legend?
I would be watching and hoping he got hurt.
He had 2 times to choose the Knicks and denied us both times, so it hurts being a Knicks fan,
Yeah.
Home run by Gleyber Torres, 5-2.
Who?
Gleyber Torres, home run.
It's just Glaber and IKF tonight,
Glaber.
huh?
Yeah.
Glaber kills the Orioles. That's something that he does well.
And my Braves blew it, not all the way, but it's 3-3 now in the 9th.
Really? They're like the Mets.
I like that the Braves still have the balls to be the Braves, and they do the tomahawk. I'm glad they still have balls.
They're coming for that next.
They're coming
John,
for his next. Is right.
So now, real quick, I know we're talking basketball. If you want to see the Braves play, who's your closest city to go to? Denver?
Yes, Colorado Rockies. And usually when they come, tickets are super cheap, and we just go to the whole series and just sit around different seats in the ballpark and enjoy it, and it's a good time.
Nice.
That's Coors Field, right?
Yep.
Okay. And how it looks nice on TV. I mean, I wouldn't watch the Rockies if my life depended on it, but overall the field is nice. Right?
Oh, it's beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
Beautiful.
All right, so we're talking basketball, and I'm noticing, Steve, on your wall there, I see a Spurs sign. Are you a Spurs fan?
We got Spurs. No, we got a Tony Parker
Over your left shoulder.
all around me. Yeah,
Your left shoulder. Other one.
it's the same thing.
The other left.
The other left.
I'm looking at Tony Parker over here, and then we got
I
Spurs
see
on the other
behind
side.
there. Yeah, behind there, I see Spurs on the wall.
Yeah, right next to the dartboard that has holes around it, but not on the dartboard.
All right.
Yeah, we got a whole bunch of NASCAR stuff, Spurs stuff. We got Jonathan Vilma on the Saints, a fathead. Just everything that we didn't want for Christmas. We just throw it down here, sports wise.
So I thought you were a Spurs fan. I want to know what your thoughts were of this kid coming in. And John, chime in too. There's Victor Wembanyama or whatever. I don't know. I haven't figured his name out yet.
I guess he's been a lifelong Spurs fan, and the team he plays for is owned by Tony Parker.
Yeah, it just seems suspicious, right?
Yeah, and then they end up winning the #1 pick, which is
like Fred would know. Hold on, Fred would know this. Back in the 84, Fred, when the Knicks miraculously got the #1 pick to get Patrick Ewing, that was the biggest setup in sports. You knew they wanted Patrick Ewing in New York.
Absolutely.
And lottery balls. Knicks. Oh, come on.
And he took them to the championship.
Yep, the 1 year Jordan was playing baseball.
Oh, those Bulls teams, they murdered us.
I still take Jordan over LeBron.
Oh, any day,
All day.
I take Kobe over LeBron.
I don't know about that,
I hate
but I
to-
definitely take Michael Jordan over it.
Definitely.
Over him.
I hate to rub it in, everyone's faces, but obviously, someone my age, they love LeBron. LeBron, kids
Yeah.
my age, they think that LeBron is way better than Jordan. And I'm watching the game with Dad right next to me. LeBron, throws up whatever shot that was. I'm just sitting there waiting for it. I'm waiting for it. I'm counting down 3, 2, 1, and then I hear Dad say, "Jordan would never miss that shot." He goes, "That's why he'll never be Jordan." Was he right? Yes, but I love hearing.
Well, Jordan's final shot of his career was a game winner against Utah, right?
Yeah,
That jump shot from the behind the arc.
Yeah, he gave Byron Russell a little push and then drilled it.
All right, maybe. That's why they called him Jordan rules back then. I'll give you that. So John, then, so what's the deal with this player then? What do you know about him so far?
So what I know is he's really big, super tall, but he could shoot the three. He could handle the basketball. So he's in today's game, he's definitely going to be a problem because before, if you're that big, then it's like, oh, you got to put on weight. They're not ready for the NBA. But now the NBA's changed where everybody's shooting the three, which he can do. He has a face-up game and handle the rock. So it's going to be a dynamite pick, and I definitely think he goes 1.
Oh, he's gonna go 1, but here's my question. I'm gonna play devil's advocate here. Last year, Chet Holmgren, maybe 2 inches smaller, same body type, gets hurt at his first practice. Isn't that a possibility?
Oh, definitely, because with being that big and your freaking feet are that huge and you're going up all the time, coming down on somebody's ankle. It was the same with like Yao Ming. Yao Ming was dominant, but he always had foot problems. So clunkers are always in the way or coming down on somebody. But Chet Holmgren's the same way. Like, I think once he gets a chance to play, I mean, he's going to be really good as well.
And where's Chet? He's in
Oklahoma City.
All right, so they're in the same conference, so they're going to battle for years. You would think.
Yeah, they are.
Okay.
Wembanyama is 7'3", and he's 225 pounds.
Oof.
That is a frame that we've never seen in the NBA. Obviously, there are plenty more unicorns in today's NBA than there were before, but that is rough, and he's going to need to put on a whole lot of weight quickly because if he's getting thrown around year 1, it's,
Jokic's going to have a ball with him.
Right away is the number 1 pick. You don't have any time. You got to be the guy right away.
Right.
So it seems all right. So now something just hit my mind. So it seems like the Western Division is where all these European players want to go, right? Because you got Luka, you got Jokic, again, 2nd round draft pick, and the guy's all world. Now this kid's gonna come in there from Europe. I don't know. I don't know. I mean, I tell you though, I think you mentioned Giannis to the Knicks. I think it's gonna be either Giannis or Luka, and it's gonna be one of those like behind the scenes, like Ewing to the Knicks, because NBA is better when the Knicks are good, right? Because it brings in fans to the MSG, tourism, TV ratings,
Rivalries.
Yeah, so I don't know. I just as a Nets fan, I'm very happy where we are right now. I'm pumped. I read every day all the stuff going on and speculation of where we're going to get, and we have that big trade exception. But the Knicks are, even if it's forced, they're going to get one of these top players. You just feel it.
I hope so, because we've been cursed since the 85 lottery of Patrick Ewing that they said was fixed. Other than that, we've never been gifted anything. Like even this year, if the Dallas pick falls to 11, the Knicks get it. Do you think they give it to us? No, they still give Dallas the freaking 10th pick, and Mark Cuban's going nuts, and it's just ridiculous. They shouldn't even have a pick.
And how about the absolutely stomach-turning 2019 Knicks season that we all had to watch, right? They had the worst record in the NBA. We were watching guys like, Wayne Ellington, Ntilikina, Alfred Payton, Alonzo Trier. The worst record in the NBA. We're tanking for Zion, right? We get the third pick. We don't even get Morant.
Yep.
We get Barrett.
Maybe that could be a good thing. That could be a good thing right now.
I mean-
Morant's in a whole world of problems. Morant is.
Because Morant with the off
Really good that he's not in New York, actually.
problems, and Zion with not playing at all. So right now it does look good. But at the moment, like, that's your chance. Like, give us the number 1 pick or at least number 2. They still gave us 3. And how this thing is not ping pong balls live. And
Yeah, it's always an envelope. Come on. Come on.
Those scores, they do it.
Now, Fred, you're in Florida still, correct?
I certainly am.
What part?
Orlando.
All right, so you're up north. So you think Florida is going to be excited if the Miami Heat make it again? I mean, is Florida a basketball city or state?
I think everybody's going crazy over Miami as we speak. You know,
Okay.
Miami's where the money is and everything. So that's why it's a great, exciting thing, and they get a lot of high end people buying boxes and buying whole areas of the arena to go see the game. So Miami, there's nothing like Miami money wise. Maybe from there to New York, there's nothing like Miami. So that's where all the excitement is right now. And all the other Florida sports, I'm not too impressed over. Although Tampa Bay happens to put together some amazing organizations. I don't know how. Tampa Bay's a shithole. Tampa Bay, their stadiums suck. Everything sucks. And meanwhile, they have these unbelievable franchises coming out. So I don't know how they do it. But Miami's going to be there for a long time, I think. I think they're so used to this now that they're just going to, whether they win it or not, which I don't think they are, they're going to get like more guys, better guys, and they're always going to be there. Like over the next 5 years, the next 4 years, they'll like be right there. That's how I see it.
Even
So
have the-
where are the Florida Panthers based out of?
The Panthers are, I don't know where the fucking Panthers are from.
Sunrise, Florida.
What's that?
I thought they were.
Sunrise.
Well,
Sunrise?
I have no idea. I know Jacksonville, maybe. No, I don't know. I don't know where the Panthers are. I don't see any Panthers stuff. Everything here is Tampa Bay Lightning. Tampa Bay Lightning.
Marlins up 5-1. Here we go. All right. So what's next, guys? A little football talk? A little bit? Fred, what do you think? Football?
What's going on with the Jets?
Did he get hurt first practice? Rogers?
No. The guy's 40 years old. He felt something in his ankle, was it? So he's like,
Yeah, he felt his ball
Oldest.
sack in his ankle.
I sneezed the wrong way, and I'm on the IR for a week, right, Fred? We're at that age now where you step the wrong way, you step down off a curb the wrong way, and things start creaking and cracking. And
I go to the doctor. I was like, "This hurts." He goes, "What happened?" I go, "How the fuck do I know? I don't know. I woke up with it. It just."
I slept the wrong way.
Oh,
that's a thing. That's a thing.
when you get hurt and you sleep, start buying a black suit, start fasting. Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah. So I don't know. I mean, I said
He'll
that
be
all the
hurt.
time.
He'll be hurt by the third game.
Oh,
Oh,
he's
please.
out.
Fred, we know this already, but I'm trying not to talk it into existence. Come on. We know that it's too good to be true. We're
Well,
going to
I thought that was going to be with Brady, but Brady's in much better shape than him.
Yeah.
That whole 90s thing. What's his TB12?
TB12.
The whole workout and eating regimen where he's like a everything's perfect.
Yeah, I mean, marrying a supermodel also keeps you young too. But
Yeah.
besides the point, what is it? The tweak heard around the world. I think it was the lead on Sports Center at noon. Great developing story. Aaron Rodgers, he tweaked his ankle. They're obsessed with him. But are you serious? We're really talking about this guy tweaking his ankle when you have the NBA conference finals, you got the NHL conference finals, you got baseball going on, and we're talking about, listen, I love that the Jets are relevant, not for stuff like this, though. So he tweaked his ankle, and they asked him, and he goes, yeah, it's fine. I just sat out. I'll be back in a couple days.
I just hope they have a coaching staff that is aware that the Jets have a good defense, not great, but very good, well above average, especially in their league in the AFC. So to have a good defense is great. And if you could protect this guy for the last 10 years, besides Brady, this guy has been magic. I mean, he still has a gun for an arm, still is very smart, knows the game. So if you could protect this guy, and you got to tell this guy 3 seconds, you get rid of it. Do not take these sacks. Do not scramble. Hand the ball off a lot. Get one or two really big offensive linemen to run. I think the Jets could very easily win their division. Very easy.
You got to protect him because the defense is going to be great, but the offensive line is going to be a concern for the Jets. And they got plenty of weapons. They brought in plenty of his friends from Green Bay. And, you brought in an offensive coordinator who absolutely laid an egg in Denver. That's Rodgers' best friend. So they brought him in. Now is a big reason for bringing in Rodgers. So if you got to bring in, someone who's just going to, play darts with him, I think is what they do. They play like darts during the Monday meetings or whatever. That's fine. We got Aaron Rodgers, but I'm cautiously optimistic because the Jets will be the Jets. It doesn't matter whose name is on the back of that jersey. It's just like the Mets. Whatever name is on the front of that jersey, and we are cursed.
Well, like I said, if you play it smart, knowing that your defense is going to keep you in the game, the first strategy across the board is do not get into 3rd and longs. Do not do it. And if you do it, don't take any chances. That's when the guy's going to get hurt. So if it's 3rd and long and you say, look, it's too long, it's 3rd and 14, just hand it off. Hand it off. You know what I mean? Don't take these chances or roll out and have 2 guys in front of him so he has maybe 2 or 3 extra seconds. But don't take that chance. And if he stays healthy, no matter what, they win 10 games. If he stays healthy, they win 10 games, no doubt in my mind.
What's amazing is that Bill Belichick is going to have one of the worst teams in the league this year. So we think.
Right.
That's the kind of guy who can make magic out of.
He can turn water to wine. This guy gets his rocks on from torturing the Jets. At this point, it's not about Super Bowls. It's about how much can I embarrass this organization. That's
great. That's football.
That's football. The disdain that this man has, whether it's, a couple years ago, Monday Night Football, he's manipulating the rule book just that way the clock keeps running and running so the Jets can't get the ball back with time on the clock. Whether it's absolutely screwing them over in the draft so they can't get their left tackle, right? Whether it's a punt return as the clock hits 0, week 10 or 11 in Foxborough. This guy just has made a career out of torturing the Jet fans, all because, he didn't want to be the head coach. He had some issues with the ownership at the time. That's not even here anymore. And he lives to torture us.
Which is crazy because everybody said Leon Hess was like a sweetheart of a guy. Right? Everybody said Leon Hess was like a man's man, very fair guy. And he was the owner back then. And somehow he just has this amazing disdain for the Jets that, like you said, he'll do anything in his power to screw him.
Yeah.
I don't know.
our owner now, he's hardly with the team. He's over in the UK when Trump was president, right?
Yeah.
Woody Johnson. You had Chris Johnson, the guy who hired the wonderful Adam Gase. So you could say
Crazy guys.
that was even more in question. But yeah, so the Jets, Aaron Rodgers tweaked his ankle, and that was national news, I guess.
If the Jets come out and win like their first 3 or 4, there's going to be such a buzz in football. It's going to be amazing. And there's going to be teams that are going to come into New York looking to really, go after Rodgers. And that's when you'll see it. That's when you'll see how smart Rodgers. But I think he's so smart, Rodgers. He's always pulling something. He's always trying to get him off sides or calling a timeout and a good, perfect plays. Or when he draws them off sides, he tries to throw it right away so they don't stop the play. He's so aware, and there's no substitute for that. Because I got to be honest with you, I watch football games sometimes, and I'm like, I know the rules, and these guys don't. These guys are touching the ball when they shouldn't touch it. There's a play where, like, they kick off the ball, and then the guy fields it on the 1 or the 2, 4 feet away from out of bounds. And I'm like, all you have to do is have your foot out of bounds when you catch it, and it's a penalty. You hardly ever see that. And like once or twice you'll see it in the year, and they praise the guy. What a smart play. How do you not know that play? They get paid millions of dollars to know the rules, and they don't even know the rules. Drives me crazy.
Yeah, it should be common sense not to, catch a punt inside the 5-yard line like the Jets did a million times last year. Let it go out of bounds.
Let it go out of bounds.
Yeah. I mean, they're a coach Belichick who will draft players just based on how smart they are, right?
Right.
And if they know the rules better than another guy, so be it.
You see, the owners approved the rule where all fair catches will come to the 25-yard. Even if you fair catch it at the 5, they'll go to the 25.
Oh, I hate that rule.
That just came out yesterday, and all the owners approved it. And it's like, what the hell are we doing?
You know what they're trying to do? They're trying to not have a kick return because a lot of guys get hurt, and they're sick of paying guys $1.5 million for playing 2 games. And, hey, that's the game. That's the game.
Here's a good thing, though. John mentioned new rules. They also approved the third quarterback.
Right.
So now every team will have a third quarterback dressed who doesn't count against the roster for that day and is there to serve a purpose, just like we saw in the NFC Championship game where, you knock those first two guys out and then all of a sudden you have nothing.
No.
At least that, you have to avoid that. And it's going to extend the careers of some of these guys too. Or might give some of these young quarterbacks a chance.
A very reactionary league, which can be good and bad to a fault, right? You had the Saints and Rams game where it was that, horrible pass interference in the NFC Championship game, and then they bring, pass interference replay there. For stuff like that, with such a wild, freak accident where 2 quarterbacks get hurt and you have, your running back playing quarterback in the NFC Championship game, you're getting a little too down to the nitty-gritty of it, in my opinion. Sometimes it's a little too reactionary, but at least 3 quarterbacks, I'm sure if Rodgers and Zach Wilson go down and we have, Michael Carter-Williams throwing the ball, I'm sure I'd be screaming for a rule like that. So in the end, well,
that's part of coaching. Part of coaching is, it's 16 games. It's it is what it is. And if you're up by 20-something points and there's 10 minutes left in the fourth quarter, guess what? Take your guy out. Substitute him. Take him out. Run the ball. If you can't run the clock out for 3 scores, 3 possessions, so I see this, and that's not even it. I'm even talking about up 20-something points with like 2 minutes left, and you see all the starters still in. Like, you're just risking this. You're risking, or you're throwing it over the middle, and you won the game. What are you doing? And that comes with coaching. And I believe a lot of times if you see a team that has a lot of injuries, I got to give some of that on the coach. I laid some of it on the coach.
They call that the Tom Thibodeau, keeping your starters in up big late in the game. I can't. How many times did we see? I know, sidebar. You see Brunson and Randall. They're up 30 and they're in 2 minutes left. That's a Thibodeau special right there. But besides the point,
Can we fire him?
I think so. He's here.
No, I mean, I want to fire him.
A lot of good coaches out there right now. A lot of good coaches out there right now that you're going to miss on next year.
This guy.
Bring back Gruden.
Oh,
Hey, so John, you're a big Atlanta Falcons fan, right?
yes.
So what are your thoughts about, real quick? What are your thoughts about Dion and what he's doing at Colorado?
Oh man, I love it because you put him anywhere and the recruits are gonna follow. And he came to freaking Colorado. They were 1-11, and he told these guys like, "Look, I'm bringing people with me. So if you want to stay, you have to compete for your job. If not, the transfer portal's wide open." So a lot of guys couldn't yet. So they played in the spring game. Then right after that, they were officially could be released and, choose a new school. But they were like 78th in recruiting before he got hired. Once he got hired, he got him in, I think, finished 24th in recruiting in just those couple weeks, which was just insane.
That's crazy.
He jumped up that much. And then even with the transfer portal now, after all those guys left, like he's pulling in 4-stars from other universities that those guys are transferring out and now going there. So, but they open up at TCU week 1. So that would be a huge game for them.
So Fred, who's your college team? You follow college football at all?
I don't really, but I like Notre Dame.
Oh, I see. You're part of the crew then. Me, John, Doc, we're all big Notre Dame fans. Not Steven though.
At this point, I don't root for them because everyone else roots for them. Yeah, it's even though I don't even have a college football team. I mean, Oswego's Division III. They don't even have a damn football team. So I won't root for Alabama. I'll root for who's ever. Who's got the flashy quarterback, who's got the best, team, who's ever a good head coach. Just like watching a good game for college football, right? As long as it's competitive, that's all I care about. Not because I went to a school that doesn't think twice about football. Real quick, Fred, we didn't talk about Kentucky Derby.
Oh, yes.
Last time we talked, we were making our picks, and I think every one of the picks that we had, they all got scratched.
They all got scratched. And no one had McGee, whatever, Mackey.
Mage,
yeah, whatever.
Mage.
Horrible.
what was your horse? Tapitrice? Was that it? Was that
Forte?
Forte, right.
Forte.
And then, I bet Maggi, whatever, to win the Preakness. Came in third. So now I have to look at the Belmont Stakes. Horse racing's funny. You could run that race 10 times, it'd be 10 different winners. That's the craziness of that sport, which makes it more, just as exciting. But it's still a great time to be at the track,
Yeah. I don't know. I put a lot of money on Skinner. I thought Skinner was going to win, and then he gets scratched on Wednesday or Thursday. So
Yeah.
I was caught with my tail between my legs there. So it was a pretty weird Kentucky Derby. I mean, how many horses got scratched? How many horses, dropped dead? It was
Yeah.
crazy. All of our horses, don't go to us for any picks anytime soon, especially for horse racing on All Point Sports. Bet the opposite. Do the Costanza. But that's for the Belmont.
Guys, I have to go because I have a conference call.
All right, buddy.
Let me just say that the worst coach in NFL history is
Rich Kotite.
Pete Carroll. Throw it over the middle. The last play of the Super Bowl. I would have fired him before the confetti hit the ground. I don't know how that guy kept his job for the worst call in football history. Peace out, brothers.
Later, Fred.
The man right there, Fred Rubino.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
funny. I lost $500 on that call.
Yeah, I think a lot of that is they didn't want to have Marshawn Lynch be like the face. You know what I mean? If they run it in, he gets the MVP of the Super Bowl. Because remember, the whole week he was like, "I'm just here, so I won't get fined." That's what he said. Any question? So I think because they already won the Super Bowl the year before, so they were trying to go back to back, and I think that played into it, honestly. Because how do you not give them the ball? And it wasn't even fourth down. It was like second down, I believe.
Yeah, I lost $500 in that play. I'm so pissed about it.
And even I won't say Pete Carroll's the worst coach because he took that job knowing that he could be the head coach and the GM. And then that segues back to Pat Riley when he was with the Knicks. We were unbelievable. We had the number one defense. All he wanted was to be the head coach and the GM. He wanted to make the player decisions. They told him no. He goes to the Heat. He's still the godfather of the Heat. They've won 3 freaking rings. He might go to the finals again. This hurts.
It's the Brady luck. And, you could say that because Brady had nothing to do with that play, right? It was all the Seahawks. But the Patriots, and specifically Brady's luck, you could say, Montana's the best quarterback, Manning's the best quarterback. Brady and the Patriots, they're the luckiest. He's the luckiest quarterback in the luckiest franchise. As Adam Frazier hits a shot.
5-4.
Pull up 5-4.
Off the pole.
Keep an eye on that. Off the pole. The Posada special. Posada used to make love to that pole when he was with the Yankees. So,
And my Braves on a walk-off, by the way.
Which was that?
Oh, my Braves won on a walk-off.
There you go.
All right. Against the Dodgers, right?
Yeah. That's a big win.
All right. And extras, right? The Ghost Runner. You love it when you win off that, and then you hate it when you lose off it.
Right. But yeah, Brady, it all started with the stupid tuck rule. That is a sack all day and a freaking fumble, and the Raiders should have went to the Super Bowl. And it all started from some rule we've never even heard of until that day in the snow.
You had the tuck rule. You had the interception at the goal line by Russell Wilson. In 2017, you had the Falcons who ran every play that you shouldn't run between throwing the ball, not running the ball, fumbling the ball.
Kyle Shanahan had a deal in place at midnight to be the head coach of the 49ers right after the Super Bowl. So he's still trying to outsmart or whatever with Belichick. Fuck. Kneel the fucking ball. I'm still pissed. I still have PTSD from this. Kneel the ball 3 freaking times. You lose yards. Matt Money Bryant was money all year. Let him kick it. You're up 11 with 2 minutes left. The Patriots have no timeouts. If he beats you after that, so be it. But you don't even give him a freaking shot. We get holding, sack, another fucking holding. Now we're punting the freaking ball. Only up 8. And of course he drives down, gets a touchdown and the freaking 2. And then you go to overtime, we don't even get the freaking ball.
Mm-hmm. It's
right down and score a touchdown.
Yeah.
So
that's one thing about Shanahan. He has never really been, he doesn't have a Super Bowl as far as, being a head coach and as a coordinator. I don't think so.
Right. No.
Very, very brutal with you saw it with the Niners against the Chiefs, kind of iffy clock management there with with that too. So as great as his teams are, they still haven't, slayed the giant. They still haven't gotten over the hill. And then in 2019 with the Patriots, it was a boring game against the Rams. Going to the AFC Championship game, one of the better games really in recent football history, right? Patriots, Chiefs. What happens? Dee Ford offsides during the Brady. I think it was a fumble or an interception or a sack, and Dee Ford is offsides. Without that offsides, Chiefs get the ball. They kneel it out. We get a Chiefs-Rams Super Bowl that doesn't end in 13-3. So just little stuff like that makes Brady the luckiest, quarterback where again, he didn't do that. He didn't have D Ford line up off sides. So since we were talking about those finishes, the Super Bowl, all that, luckiest quarterback of all time. Oh, were we talking about the Seahawks? And then and Fred just brought up randomly that Pete Carroll should have got fired. I don't know where that came from. We were talking about all of our horses, who poo in the bed during the Derby.
Even being a Falcons fan, I have to play the Bucks twice, so I had to see Tom Brady freaking again. Even last year, they won the division. We were one game back, missed the playoffs by one freaking game. And I remember, I think it was week 6, week 7. Grady Jarrett, Patriots are up 7. It's 3rd and long. He breaks through 2 people, grabs Brady around the waist, and just falls down. And they throw the flag for roughing the freaking passer, and he still has the ball in his hand. And 15 yards, they nail the clock out. We don't even have a shot to freaking tie the game. And then you lose the division by 1 game. And everybody said it was going to come back and haunt us. And then I think it came to Monday night that same week. The Chiefs guy sacks Derek Carr, strips him before they even hit the ground. And they called roughing the passer. It was just frustrating.
It's
refs in all sports are freaking
right.
There's no consistency.
I know, and it's a tough racket, but especially nowadays, I mean, it gets brutal. There are different ways where you can kind of avoid it, and it's sometimes these refs, they don't have to answer to press conferences, right? They don't need to stand in front of a bunch of cameras and explain their decisions. They get to make a bad call, alter, the trajectory of what sport happens, and possibly, a championship, maybe even. And then they just walk off the field, hop in their car, and they go home. They get ready for the next game. They still get their paycheck. They don't need to answer to anyone, right?
Right.
All right, so just kind of wrapping things up here. We got the Yankees still up against the Orioles. Bobby, what's the inning right now? Where are we at?
Top of 7th, 2 on, nobody out. So kind of roughing up Nestor here a little bit.
Really? And that's the thing about Nestor this year. You get him through the 3rd time in the order. Brutal. I think he has like a 6.5 ERA through that 3rd time in the order. Not nearly what he was last year, right? And we weren't expecting that. We weren't expecting, a top 10 Cy Young year from Nestor. We were expecting him to be a solid 2 or 3, right? You have Rodon on the shelf, Sevy on the shelf. Time for Nestor to be a little bit more consistent, right? You're not the AA DFA guy that you were a couple years ago. And him going through the 3rd time in the order this year, he's been brutal. And you have no King. Their bullpen's been fine. They've, Hamilton's on the shelf. I think Canley's coming back. King pitched 2 last night, so you wouldn't expect to see him now. Top 7, you said, and Nestor's still in?
Yeah, well, they just had a visit to the mound.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, there's, again, after the 300 home run, there's now it's 2 on again with nobody out.
Yeah.
So tying runs on 2nd, the winning runs on 1st.
And if they take Nestor out, I'm going to bet you $1 million who they bring in. If they don't bring in Wandy, you're going to see Albert Abreu in there, because he's their high leverage guy, Albert Abreu, who I can't stand watching. So, because the bullpen's kind of thin right now. Like I said, there's no King. You think that Peralta and Holmes could go, but you doubt that they can go more than 1 inning. So Albert Abreu could possibly be showing up in the 7th inning with runners on, and I will be sick.
Wow. Down the first base line. That's going to score 1. Wow. Into the corner. 2 runs scored.
Dang.
We're losing.
Well, we pulled off some magic last night. You never want to, last year we relied on walk-offs a lot. And when we were down, you can't rely on that all the time.
Oh, I'm sorry. My bad. Cudero's pitching.
Oh, okay.
So Nestor was out probably after that home run. Now Cudero's been in.
Which he gives up a lot of. I mean, Nestor, he is, sometimes he can be consistent, but one of the things that is one of his shortcomings, he gives up a lot of home runs. But anyhow, So we got the Yankees right now. At least we got John's team that pulled it out on top with a walk-off. So hopefully we can make it 2 for 2 tonight.
Yes.
We got, some good baseball. We got some hockey. I couldn't tell you for the life of me what's going on in hockey. And
Right
then-
now it's 3-2, Panthers, 9:56 to go in the third.
All right.
And I think they're going for the sweep.
Wow, number 8 seed again. 2 Florida teams, 8 seeds. Wow.
It
And real quick, I know. Real quick, I had this thought before. I forgot to mention it. Look how much heat the Dallas Mavericks took for tanking that last game and not getting into the playing game, right? And then here's the exact opposite. Miami embraced it, lost that first game, right? Did they lose the first game,
they lost to the Hawks that first game.
and then they've been on fire since. So it goes both ways.
And,
But
and
yeah,
what I was getting to is Dallas tanked, and they still gave them the 10th pick. You could have at least gave it to us and gave them 11 for tanking.
Ain't it beautiful how both ways that still screwed the Knicks, whether it was the Mavericks tanking and they took our pick or the Heat getting in and us having to face a buzzsaw in that second round. Either way, the Knicks are getting it. And that's probably the best way we can end off, right? The Knicks and the Knick. And, we got the Knicks. We got the Yankees. Hopefully that can pull it off on top. We got some pretty good hockey. I know tomorrow, right? Tomorrow is Celtics Heat.
tomorrow should be next game. Yeah.
Game 5.
Let's hope for Heat in 5 because I got a lot of Celtic fan friends that I can't stand. And if it is a Heat Nuggets matchup, it won't be, the most, polished up matchup. Not really the most easy on the eyes matchup for sure. But as far as just pure basketball between the coaches, between stars that actually play hard and play sophisticated basketball, it'll be great. And where can you find all that information, Bobby? Right here. Right here. All Point Sports. We'll have the NBA Finals preview. June 1st is when the finals begin, right? So
And we'll have also the NHL Finals, which again, I'm Superfest, not a huge hockey fan. I did root for the Devils. I always do in the playoffs. But I used to live in Vegas, so I have a little affinity for the Golden Knights, and they're going for the sweep tomorrow night.
Oh
as
yeah.
well.
Yeah. So a lot of sweeps, a lot of 5-game series in these conference championships. A lot of different than all the game 7s that we saw in the first round, right? So, we'll see what happens as far as the NBA, NHL. We got MLB. If Aaron Rodgers trips on a ledge or gets a paper cut, ESPN will cover that. So they got the football coverage for you, and all that here on All Point Sports. I don't know, gentlemen. We got anything else to add? Or we?
No, I think we're good. I think we had a nice eventful show. A lot of information. John?
Oh yeah.
So Errol Spence Jr. and Terrence Crawford fight boxing got signed for July 29th. So that's going to be one of the most anticipated fights in a long time since Mayweather and Pacquiao. So it's going to be huge. Both under.
Yeah, boxing is kind of fell by the wayside a little bit, right? Past couple of years.
It's tough because, I'm a boxing guy over UFC, but UFC, there's only one champion, and Dana White makes the fight. In boxing, we have 4 freaking belts. You could be signed to, HBO. I'm on Showtime, so we're never going to fight each other because they're different promoters. So if we could just get one promoter and have a legit ranking system where these top guys are fighting each other instead of ducking each other. And that's the problem with Mayweather and being undefeated. They're all scared to lose their oath. They all want to stay undefeated but not fight each other. So finally this fight got signed, which is going to be a pretty big deal.
And who would you take right off the rip? Yeah, the pick.
I'll go Terrence Crawford.
All right.
That'll be my
That's my problem with UFC. Again, it's entertaining, I guess, for a lot of people. I mean, I like watching a McGregor fight. He's almost done. But you see these records. A guy fighting for a championship, he's 9-3. He's 11-5, 11-6. Boxing, you fight for a championship, you got a damn good record. At least that's how I grew up on.
Yeah.
You see some of these UFC guys. I'm not taking away from their talent or their expertise or their fighting, but their records do not, translate to me.
Right.
Mm.
All right, I think we had a nice little show here. Well, wish everybody a healthy Memorial Day weekend
Yes.
coming up.
Enjoy it. I'll be in Montauk all throughout next week. So I'm going to try and hop on, but out east it is very, very spotty.
Montauk.
Out in Montauk. We're going camping at Hither Hills. We're going from Monday to Thursday, right before the Memorial Day crowd goes out east and pretends that they're all that. So we'll be there. We'll be camping. It'll be a good time. And, calls for sunny skies, warm and
Does that include Matt Holiday? I can see Matt Holiday being a camper.
No, he hates it. He'll go out for a day. He's got to be in like the big. Thankfully, we have a camper because if he were in a tent, he'd bring the electric fan. He'd bring, a big blow up mattress. Thankfully, we're in a nice camper where it's almost like a house for him to be all pampered and all ready to go. Because I don't think he could sleep on the ground for one night if his life depended on it, Matt Holiday. So he will not be there. I'm sure he's happy about that, but it'll just be the younger buyers, and we'll have a good time out east in Montauk. And hopefully you guys also have a great Memorial Day weekend as well. Be safe, be happy. Remember why we celebrate it. And
I had somebody. I think John would appreciate this. I saw this on a post before, and it said something like, "This is not the holiday where you say Happy Memorial Day." Right? And I think John would agree to that. Veterans Day is where you would say that because that's honoring our current veterans like yourself.
Yes.
Memorial Day is all about remembering those that made the ultimate sacrifice. And I think a lot of people, and it drives me crazy. Like on Facebook, I'll see that, people get it wrong all the time. This is for remembering those that have passed on, whether it be veterans obviously, or whether they paid the ultimate price in combat or whatnot. That's what this weekend's for.
Correct.
Yeah, Veterans Day is where it's, and people forget that all the time, and I don't know, it drives me nuts.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
But it's not an excuse just to have a day off from work, right? It's there's a reason why we remember, and of course, to all those who made the ultimate sacrifice, we're very on All Point Sports. We recognize those, and it's going to be on Monday we remember those for Memorial Day.
Another run scored here on a throw by Judge where he's a little off target too. Wow. Or was that Higgy that missed the catch? I don't know. Anyway, it's 7-5. All right, everybody. Thanks for joining us. We'll be back next Wednesday night. We'll go over some of our weekend highlights. And if Steven's available, if he's not, in no Dino Land, he'll join us as well. And of course, we'll get Doc back next week as well. He was doing his duties tonight and hosting Jeff Norris, so he'll be back. For Steve, for John, for our guest Fred Rubino, Doc Holliday. Thanks for joining us, All Point Sports. Have a safe Memorial Day weekend. Thank you.